It's a great delight to be here this morning to announce what I think is the best news for Brisbane, and that is in 2014 Brisbane will host the G20. The G20 is the body that brings together the leaders of the 20 biggest economies in the world. It is now the premier forum for discussing issues in the global economy. It was first brought together after the global financial crisis, and the G20 is continuing to play a role in guiding the global economy towards stronger times and better days of growth. This means that in 2014, Brisbane will see the President of the United States, the President of China, the President of Russia, the Prime Minister of India, the Prime Minister of Great Britain, the President of France, the Chancellor of Germany, the President of Brazil, to name just a few, right here in Brisbane at the G20. This is tremendous news for Brisbane. It does mean that Brisbane will see a large number of people converge here in November 2014. Apart from the 20 world leaders who come together in the G20, there are associated business events and labour events bringing together the international trade union movement. All up, around 4,000 people will come to Brisbane for these events, bringing together some of the leaders of the biggest businesses in the world. You'll also see 3,000 of the world's media here, having their lenses trained on Brisbane, taking the images of this incredibly beautiful place to the world. Directly into the Brisbane economy, this will be an injection of a considerable amount of money. We're talking about $20 million in hotel accommodation alone, around $30 million in all of the services that need to be sourced locally to make a major event like this happen. And that's before you get to things like the associated tourism and retail benefits with so many people in town all at the same time. This, for Brisbane, I think, will be days when the Brisbane community will be able to say to itself very proudly that they are being showcased in front of the world. For Queensland generally, we want to make sure that throughout Queensland people feel a connection to the G20 and see some of its benefits. In the lead up to the G20, finance ministers meet. That means Wayne Swan and his counterparts around the world come together to prepare for the G20 meeting. We will want to see that meeting hosted in a regional location in Queensland. I'm very confident that in 2014 Brisbane will be there on the world stage, and I'm also very confident that we will see 20 world leaders jet in, but we will see 20 fully fledged Queenslanders fly out. I'm very happy to take your questions.
When in 2014 will it be held?
It'll be the 15th and 16th of November.
How much will it cost?
Well, the Commonwealth has allocated $370 million for the costs of the G20. It is expensive to host because of all of the associated arrangements, including security arrangements for an event this large. But it's very important for the global economy. It means Australia has a special ability to stamp its mark on the G20 and stamp our mark on the future direction of the global economy. Good for business to have global business leaders here coming to Australia, and of course direct injections into the Queensland economy.
Will see that as money well spent, given at the moment, say, 20,000 public servants being sacked up.
Well, this is federal government funds. About the 20,000 public servants, you'll have to direct that to Premier Newman.
Why Brisbane? What got Brisbane across the line?
Well, Brisbane was selected. We asked cities around the nation to put bids forward to host this important event. Brisbane was selected because you've got the right facilities with your convention centre here. You've got the right ability to deal with the logistics of such a big event. Brisbane Airport, the new airport link. All of these things meant Brisbane's bid was the standout for this event. Of course, that does mean that other cities are disappointed not to be able to host the G20, but I do believe that it's important that when we put Australia's face to the world, that face is one of a number of world-class cities in our nation, and Brisbane is certainly a world-class city.